This next panel is all about winning and staying winning. The topic is winning strategies for market expansion in competitive retail environments. Our moderator for this panel is none other than Mr. Kumar Rajagopalan, CEO RAI. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please welcome to the stage our moderator for this panel, Mr. Kumar Rajagopalan. Can we hear a huge round of applause? And now the panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Akash Srivastav, BD Head, Raymond. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Akash Srivastav. Mr. Arun AB, VP, EBO, Libas. He's not here? All right. Mr. Deepak Yadav, Chief of Business Expansion and Project, Shopper Stop. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Sachin Damle, Director, Real Estate, Hardcastle Restaurants Private Limited, McDonald's India, West and South. Can we hear it loudly? Welcome, sir. Samiran Sarkar, BD Head, Purplle. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Samiran Sarkar. Join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Shibu Phillips, Director, Shopping Malls, Lulu Group, India. Welcome, sir. Welcoming to the stage Mr. Sumit Gildial, Senior Vice President, BD and NSO, Lifestyle International Private Limited, Max Retail Division. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear a huge round of applause, please, for Mr. Sumit Gildial. Mr. Sumit Suneja, Chief Expansion Officer and Head, International Market, Bestseller India. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring some more energy back into this room. Yes. And Mr. Shahroz Mirza, Business Head, Meena Bazaar. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together loudly and welcome to the stage Mr. Shahroz Mirza. Welcome, gentlemen. Over to you.
Good afternoon. I think all of us are the people who are going to stop you from having lunch for now. So in case you guys are still got some strength left, please clap loudly or raise your hands. Either is okay. Yeah. It's a pleasure to be doing this panel because we've got just one operator from a mall and the rest of them are retailers. So Shibu is a brave man. But the only difference is that, like he said, like Sumit has said, Shibu is much more a retailer than a mall operator because end of the day, what is a mall? A mall, if they don't understand customers and they don't think themselves to be much larger retailers, they really can't function. In fact, they take away most of the pains that otherwise an independent retailer would have done by themselves. Many people here have got independent stores also, and I know that the amount of work that goes in to ensure that you take up the functioning of the property, take care of the municipality nearby, take care of the customers who come in, at the same time do things to make sure that customers come into the store is not easy. So Shibu, I'm with you for some time, but otherwise I think it's going to be fun. I do have one request from the audience here, right? While we will try and make sure that it's entertained and it's also going to give us enough knowledge, some of you may be having some questions in your mind that you want to ask, right? See, there's already a few hands getting raised. Yeah. While it will go through me. So if it's a question that should not be asked, I'll kind of deflect it if I can. But these are all seasoned operators. There are some frenemies in this place who want to ask questions also. So friends plus enemies, right? So let's make this enjoyable. I think most importantly, the whole concept of physical spaces has gone through a big change, to be on the serious note. All of us agree that none of us, if you shut your eyes and think that you are a customer, shop the same way as we shopped even 5 years before. COVID ke pehle kya tha and what we are today is very different. Yes? No? Yes, so lots of, so to that extent, I think life is easy. But I would like to take inputs from the people here because what we want to first know is what is changed. And each one of you can possibly take this up. I will, can I get one more this or I'll go there? Mike's there? You'll be able to pass it around. So we'll start with Sumit because Sumit is on this side. You would also have realized that quite a lot of people here have got their name starting from S by accident, not by choice. Although I think each one of them will tell why their names start with S. So, yeah. So Sumit, do you want to tell us how were consumers and what was retailing in the offline businesses before COVID, and what are the one or two things that you have seen change in the last 5 years' time?
From a consumer perspective, I mean, for sure there are some preferences which have changed pre-COVID and post-COVID. I think people are more conscious of the fact that convenience takes precedence over anything else, and they are happy to sit at home and shop. I think uh, the quick commerce success has shown us that what the consumer preferences change. Brands like Zepto, Blinkit, and many more coming up in the pipeline. I think there is a certain trend which is evident that I don't want to go to a supermarket uh, every first week of every month and buy my groceries for the entire month. Uh, I'm very happy to, uh, order one item which will come in 10 minutes. So that's for convenience is priority now. Uh, and while some of us still think that quick commerce is expensive for the consumer, sometimes even at large format supermarkets, the prices are higher than a quick commerce platform. So yeah, and fashion has changed. Pre-COVID, I think a lot of consumers were not very comfortable shopping online for fashion specifically. Uh, but that has changed drastically. I mean, there are a lot of D2C brands which have come up in the last 3-4 years, which have showed the way to a lot of consumers that you can buy fashion without any fear of without any fear, and yet, I mean, get it exchanged if or refund if you don't like it or the size doesn't fit. I mean, it's not that it was not there. I mean, people could used to shop earlier as well online for fashion, but I think post COVID the trends have moved much faster shopping online. So having said that, in the same breath, physical commerce is not going anywhere. It's here to stay, and it will continue to grow from my perspective at least. And I'm sure Shibu can add in a few more thoughts to this.
What do you want to add?
So, good afternoon, everyone. I think as a mall developer, what we really understand is that unless I can give each one of you a unique experience, which you already know what it should be, I don't have a relevance today in today's market, and that's completely changed, post-COVID. Pre-COVID, what was happening is that you were all going to shopping malls. Why? Because there was no other options available, and buying on the net was, or social e-commerce was not the options. But today, e-commerce is, and quick commerce has actually changed the world. Um, and so unless a mall operator doesn't have everything as a relevance which can guarantee that experience, and some of these experience for the Gen Z has to be socially integrated, where they need to find it to ensure that they can post it in their social platforms. And if I can And all the data is available online because the customer is actually coming exactly prepared with what he wants to do exactly in the mall, whether it is, because it's not that because the movies are already in OTT and they know when it is coming in OTT. So everything is now known to a consumer. So I really need to extract him out of the house, and by me organizing activations, by me doing, getting brands which is relevant to them, whether it is D2C or whether it is by me talking to a retailer and ensuring that the retailer also has the merchandise which is the trending merchandise in online, and by me talking to the retail VM team to ensure that they are also doing things. All that has become so relevant today, and today the consumer also needs to be, given things as soon as he buy. The offers needs to be instant. I need to give him an offer instantly because Gen Z is looking for offers. They're asking where are the offers available, because the platforms like Zomato and all are telling the moment it's 1 o'clock, they'll say, why don't you have a burger? We have an offer on a burger. So I also need to talk the same language to the retailer, saying that I have offers on burger, I have offers on pizzas, or it's, so I need to be, my marketing team needs to be on the toes, whether if it is a season of marriage, immediately there is, before that trend starts, we have a fashion show which happens, which shows in the retailers. I collaborate with the right type of retailers, whether it's the ethnic retailer or whether it is my suits. I do all that because bespoke is is the talk. How can you curate it for me? I want to be looking different, and I need to I have stylists available in most of my stores now. So the whole matter is, how can I collaborate with my retailer? So there are more collaboration talks which is happening with retailers. There is more experience-driven talks which is happening with retailers. So data is already getting shared between all of us. We are already talking. We are already giving them the plans and telling them this is the way we should collaborate. So I think today consumers have a lot of information in their hands, and all of us are providing that information to them. And they're coming so informed that we need to give them better than what they expect to us. If we can better that experience, then your destination will be relevant to them. Otherwise, it will become a problem for all the people who are in this business.
Akash, I'll kind of take the question slightly further before you answer, because it's given. I think if all of you are agreeing what's been said by the two panelists, that's the way it is. The fact is that customers expect immediate satisfaction, gratification. They are also trying to make sure that they get best offers. They are also trying to see what they can get online as well as see offline and then take a decision. So this is what is, I think he talked a bit about experience, right? So if Raymond was sold in a particular way, let's say 5 years before, to how it is sold today, is there a big difference?
So good afternoon, everyone. We are, I think, the 17th company in Bharat who would be completing 100 years this year.
Yeah.
So that's a big achievement. We've been here.
It's not easy to be a brand for 100 years.
Yeah.
So
We've taught people what they should wear. People have come back, shower a lot of love to us. We've got some of the icons wearing a Raymond. And over the past 20 years, we've got into ready-made. So we have got brands like Raymond Ready to Wear, which is our flagship. Then we have Park Avenue, a cult brand. Color Plus, who still has a great fan following. And on the bespoke thing, we have a brand called Made to Measure. Now what it does is it gets you an experience. You go to a store and they give you some small, paper cloth things. You choose your design, fabric. They cut it to your style and make it in a factory. So basically you get your body type fitting in a factory. So the finish is of a factory or a ready-made garment. Since COVID, I think for the 2.5 years when this bespoke or a made-to-measure tailoring was not happening, we are trying to make sure that we stay relevant. And today when you walk into our stores, they are more relevant, they are more vibrant. We are trying to get more youth into, into our stores. With legacy brands, what happens is that over a period of time, the youth kind of goes into the Gen Z brand, what Shibu and Sumit were mentioning. So it is super important that we remain attractive to them, the kind of offering that they want. We can't really run the discounts the way other retailers are running it because we are a traditional company that way, but young at heart. But then we want to make sure that our designs, our cuts, our colors, our fabric is pretty relevant right now. And that is what we are striving at heart.
So yeah, I think some steps you already took even before COVID, and made to measure is a classic case in the point. It will make customers come back because how do you really do made to measure sitting at home? And that's a fantastic method to do it. But I think the other thing that you've told about is this whole thing of vibrancy, which is interesting, very, very interesting. We'll have to come back to that. Some of you may have some other points to add on the making it vibrant and making it young enough. Because you do, as you brand ages, you land up into a situation of getting older customers and not getting enough young customers inside, which should then take us to Sachin. Sachin, you've always been known as a brand where the youngsters will come in faster than the elder people. Although I sometimes think that while we say that, many of us also want to go and eat there. Is that a fact? And secondly, has there been such a big difference in the way people consume when it comes to food?
I didn't get the second
Is
point.
there a big difference in the way people consume when it comes to food?
Good afternoon, everybody. I guess I am the only food retailer in this entire basket. Uh, Surely, after COVID, a lot of things have changed. So we have been here for last 28 years. So initial 24 years before COVID, the business used to happen surely inside the restaurant or on the drive-through. Uh, Hardly any takeaway, and we used to have our own delivery service. So the entire experience was in the store itself, and of course, because of that, the product, everything was rightly, freshly served there. Post-COVID, a lot of things have changed. Right from almost like some cities, we have more than 50% business happening outside the restaurant, which is a challenging thing, because you need to have the right product reaching to the customer at home. Because French fries, which is there in the restaurant, and the French fries, which after 20 minutes when it reaches home, you need to have that properly packed so that it's not soggy or whatever to that extent. Secondly, the kind of experience we are giving inside the restaurant, right from the technology, because our core group is 15 to 35 is our age group of people who come to us, like you said. They are looking at more experiential, more tech savvy. So we have changed that post-COVID. So if you see, when you go to any of our stores now, it's all technology enabled. Right from entering, you don't have to go to the counter, order something. You go to the self-ordering kiosk, decide what you want to have. Like they have made to measure, we have made for you. If you want to change your burger, add 2 patties, add 2 slices of cheese, whatever, you can do that. Go and sit. The food will come on the table. That's the biggest shift which has happened, which the customer is liking it. So it's more of personalization.
Wow, this I didn't know. How many of you knew that you can take 2 patties inside? Okay?
He has some
Nice.
anyway food experience in the past, so I guess.
I thought it's stock standard. आपने burger मंगाया यही मिलेगा. Not necessary. Customizing. I think it's beautiful. Personalizing, customizing
Absolutely.
is definitely a big thing that's happened. I mean, while I talked about it in a fleeting session, fact is that every single retailer I meet talks about personalization and customization. Thank you for telling that. Yeah. No, 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 carry on. Anything else that you're doing differently?
So I guess, like you're talking about the, like they were talking about the discounts or value kind of stuff, which the youngsters are looking at.
Correct.
I don't know how many of you know, but we have a app which is a GMLite app, which is across the world. It has offers wherein you can order food with too much of combinations, or when you come to a restaurant also, you can order food, and there are a lot of combos because of which the price gets discounted big time. But these are special offers which are available on the app itself. So a lot of youngsters like that basically, and they give good discounts. For example, if you have 2 McCafes, it almost comes at a price of around 149, 159, which is a very big discount for a good quality coffee.
I will come back to you. There's a question in my mind that I always wanted to ask a food person. But I'll first go to him and then come. But you may think about the answer. Fact is that years ago, when we'd order food, it would be cheaper than when we go into a restaurant and eat. Yeah. Does that still remain, or is it different? And the restaurateurs those days used to say, because you're placing an order, you're not occupying my space, so I'm going to give you a discount because space is more expensive than the food. So I will come back to you on that account. This is for the others also to think about it. How many of you had discounts because food got delivered home? 10 saal pehle? There are few. Many of you did not really order food at all, huh? 10 days. I know you all lived for more than 10 years here. So, okay, we'll come back to that. Samiran, for you, how is life changed?
So, good afternoon, everybody. So, for us, we have basically started online. We did it revised. So, we started our offline journey. It's been 1.5 years only. And we are right now 65 stores strong. uh, things are very dynamic. How I'll tell you, it's a constant fight of consumers of convenience versus experience. The attention span of people has changed. They want it immediately to be delivered. Okay, so if you're talking about a cart, so if you want your cart and that cart to be delivered immediately in 20 minutes, but you don't complete that cart in 30 minutes or time. You do your plates, you do other works and take a phone call and then you complete. So it's a basically, I would say, the consumer's behavior and attention span that has changed drastically, and it is at the very same time it is very difficult for us retailers right now to predict consumers how few things how even after doing everything right, if you are there at a mall or even if you are there in a high street, how people are going to, is there a guarantee of footfalls? You are going to generate that footfall at the end of the day or not? So yeah, there are a lot of work and hypotheses around that. People are going lot more data oriented things, but again, data is something people are evolving towards that, but that is also comes with a positive and negative. That comes with that historical data, and you don't know what is going to happen in future. But being a tech first company, we are trying to learn and grow from that. Yeah.
Thank you. I think you talked about one thing which will kind of ring a bell on to every one of us, share of time. I think the biggest difference is that it's very difficult for retailers to find that share of time from consumers. Initially it was simple, दुकान में आया खरीदा चले गए. But now to get them to see anything other than their own mobile phones is very, very tough. Even if they are in the store, they are not in the store. So it is going to be difficult as things go by.
In store as well, people are putting in virtual try-ons and other things so that you
Yeah.
you minimize on the time. At the very same time, you keep it experiential.
Yes. So Sumit ji, I now called him Sumit ji. He's got special status because his surname is with G. So automatically respect comes to him. So Sumit ji, the question is, I mean, you got a lot of brands with you. And I know that, again, it's a brand that's accustomed to customers. You've known customers of various kinds of categories coming in and shopping with you. You've seen products that are value retail. You've seen products that are at the higher end of retail. So under these circumstances, are you seeing that one customer is willing to buy across various types of retail businesses that you have? They are buying in Max as well as in lifestyle as well as going to other places? Or are these customers really different? Because we always used to talk about this whole differentiation of customers. I am asking this because when you go into stores, when you go into malls, your own thought process has to change in the way in which you seek spaces, right? So
Yeah, of course, the consumer behavior in different brands is different. So I'll put first the value fashion, which is the max fashion, which is there. So in this category, usually the category which comes in or the consumers which look forward is more from a value perspective in terms of the volume of the quantity which they want to buy. Now, when it comes to max, which if I say in a percentage basis, major chunk of the business comes in from the kids wear, which no matter what segment of population, what classification segment A, B, C, but usually the consumer wants the kids because it's a growing age. Because apparel for a kid lasts only for 3 months or 4 months because the size changes and the seasons also changes and everything. So major chunk of the business for the value fashion also comes from the kids because everybody would like to go in for a kids wear. Now coming to the other category, which is our lifestyle brand, which has multi-brands and more of a upper market, they are usually the matured consumers are coming in there. Basically the ones which are into the age group of 35 plus and everything and all that, their target audience is lifestyle. But when it comes to young women wear, young youth which is just starting their careers or the young parents and everything, they usually target the max category. Now coming how life has changed for us also post-COVID, if you put it in everything. So there's a lot of changes in terms of what I'll call it as phygital, which has come into our in-store experience also. Now what we have realized over a period of time, it's not just consumers or the customers coming in to buy products. It's more of an experience, and along with the experience is more what they have a look and feel of the outlets what we are into. So we have made a lot of changes in that from in terms of making it more wider. We call it as now, earlier it used to be 4 seasons, now we call it as a seasonless. which basically means the replenishment of the stocks have to be much more on a faster rate. It has to change much faster. Consumers need different styles, different things, which used to be first 6 months window or 4 months window, which is now turning into a 2 months window. So we are calling it now seasonless, because the replenishment of the stock has to be much more faster track right now. So that's how the change has happened. Plus the store layouts have also changed over the last, I'll say pre-COVID versus post-COVID, the layouts have also changed, because giving them more spaces in the LAs to roam around, to move around and everything. Earlier the philosophy
keep it closer. Because
earlier the philosophy of stack it high and fry it high has gone. It's more of consumer having experience, wanting experience, wanting to have that look and feel in the outlets. Also, the fusion of phygital has played a pivotal role post-COVID. And in the stores also, we have it, we call it as endless aisles basically. So even if you don't have a product in the store, there's a platform where you can order, and anywhere in the country it will come into you. Either you can collect it from the store or it can come to your outlet. So that's how the life has changed in terms of all categories, whichever we are handling in terms of consumer behavior. So in-store experience is also playing a pivotal role now, just not the online part of it. It's a fusion of now, I'll say, more as a phygital, what the word is being used.
Nice that you brought out the phygital part of it. I didn't want to use the term, but you now use the term, because it's sometimes worrisome with the malls. Okay, I did hear a very different thing yesterday evening when I was sitting with the mall guys, and I'm going to ask that to him, because phygital initially was a worry, but I'm going to come back to Shibu on that slightly later. So Sharos, Mishraji is better? Mirza. Because I called him Sumitji, right? So Mishraji is nicer. Mirzaji. So Mirzaji is better. Mirza, this whole business that you are in, you're in a segment that's for occasion wear. You're also in a segment where customers come in when they've got specific occasions in their mind. Sometimes they are willing to pay really big prices for this. Now, has this been really impacted because of this whole online thought processes, or customers wanting to shop everything from the house? And if it has, how has that impacted the businesses?
Hi. I think phygital, the term that my colleague has already quoted, is somehow restricted to the category. Like, if anybody wants to buy a lehenga for her wedding, I don't know how many of you can go online and buy a lehenga of 50, 60,000, 80,000
How many
rupees.
of you will buy a lehenga online?
Nobody.
If you have somebody who's going to wear a lehenga, huh?
On her wedding.
Okay.
So,
Okay. How
nobody.
many of you will go to the store and buy?
Everyone.
Some don't even want to go to the store, some don't want to buy it at all.
तो कुछ की शादी हो गई होगी ना तो नहीं.
Okay.
So it's important to understand the category you are into. It's always touch and feel factor which is impacting the occasion and the bridal wear that we are into. Now coming on to the experience that we are offering post-COVID. So COVID, everybody see that pandemic, people come out like a hell after COVID and, do a lot of shopping. They need their own social spaces. That's why the social places, this category got up in a very fast way. So we, as a Meena Bazaar, has changed our layout of the store, where we have different fabric boxes which is hanging on the on the roof of these stores, where customer get the feeling of mobile, like wo scroll kar raha hai, kind of a thing. And same thing we are depicted on in the store in store experience, where customer can see a different color of sari, different color of kurti, lehenga and all. Now so our 20% sale comes from that, customer is choosing from that fabric box, and then the sale person take it out from the inventory and show them. So this is something which is important for us. And secondly, we customer is more live now. Customer want a kind of a collaboration with the in-store team as well, engagement with the in-store team. So we equipped with a lot of technology, like we have installed a 65 centimeter TV where customer can browse the product if it is not available in the store, and then and there it's kind of a endless aisle for us as well. And so this is how we have changed the overall layout, overall experience for the customer. One more important thing which we have add in this store in experience is the selfie point that we have given to the customer. Because it's a occasion, it's a very important day for any bride to, get to be married. So we want her to enjoy each and every moment. कि वो shopping भी करने आ रही है तो वो enjoy करे. She can click the photos of in a different lehenga or a different outfits, and she enjoy that thing. So we extensively working on that part.
Actually, thank you for telling that, because I do see a lot of this specific occasion wear products nearby, and like you're saying, things have completely changed for them. There's lots more involvement with the customer. There is lots more ability for the customer to define what they want. There's lots more customization, personalization that we talked about. If burger में personalization है तो फिर तो लहंगा में तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा होता होगा. So I think it's very nice that you spoke about it, and it's something that would definitely change the way the stores are.
Personalization हमारे case में it's very important to give the highest regard to the mother-in-law of that particular bride, not the bride. So this is something that strategically we follow,
Oh, very nice.
at the end of the day, selection उन्हीं का होना है.
Contradicting to what he just said, I think the trends are changing on wedding wear or occasion wear. I know brands and shops which are selling online, even their wedding trousseaux or XY. So trends have changed post-COVID. And
No, I was
a
expecting
large-
at least 10 people to raise their hand selling हम लहंगा खरीदेंगे online. लेकिन किसी ने
maybe
हाथ
not
ही
in
नहीं
this
उठाया.
room, but yes, I know.
We'll have to change the profile of customers sometimes here also. But you're right. I mean, there are lots of people willing to try and experiment. I'm sure he's got lots more
But
international orders coming
we
in.
tried that consumer should come onto our in-store only, not the online one. Because that's where we can, cross-sell and upsell is going to be work for us.
A lot of customization is happening online, in spite of selling it online. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Shibu, with all that's happening, I'm sure that the way in which you look at stores, the sizing of the stores that comes in, the kind of interactions that you want the customers to go with in terms of every single store, plus you've got this onerous task of ensuring that there is adjacency of stores, there is very clear profiling of various stores together. How do you manage it, and how are things changing in the malls part of the business?
So, earlier people were asking for smaller stores now. Now brands have started asking for bigger stores. But when brands come to us for the bigger stores perspective, we keep in mind to always look at the occupancy cost, because there is a cost factor which will be discussed after everything, and it has to be matching the expectations of with respect to the sales which will deliver. So if we believe that with all the data which is existing in the current mall, it's very easy a decision, because brands then they also take a informed decisions. But in a new mall, then it's a decision which comes from the whole neighborhoods where you analyze what's the performance and then you give it. But what happens here is that when you do a new mall, whether it's my Ahmedabad mall, which I'm going to do, when it's a destination property, then you need to have obviously some of the marquee brands having the biggest stores there, where they themselves obviously have to do the things differently, whether it is the Apple coming with a different store, or whether the Anchors coming with a different type of store, or the sportswear brands coming with a different type of store. There are right now a lot of restaurants which do curated stores very differently. And in this today's world, it's a F&B which drives a lot of footfalls to the mall than the other part, because consumers like to get a lot of social media interaction and also experience, where a lot of these restaurants are able to curate, like the way personalize their food to them. So when we are now doing, and also what is happening is we are actually now also creating a lot of open spaces for making a lot of live interactions, live events. You've seen the responses to live events. Coldplay was a big example. So we are also trying to have a lot of these. Gen Z has to come into the mall, then they need these interaction spaces where they can come and experience some of these, some of their favorite, whether it is a single stand-up or entertainments which can be done. So these are all factors we are giving. So we are obviously understanding zoning is very important. Nevertheless, end of the day, it's a mall. So zoning is given a very big importance, so that, and we also as a mall don't go too vertical. We just leave it to ground and first and second, ground and first to for our fashion too, because we understand that consumers don't tend to think. We always want all the storefronts to be visible. So storefronts are very big, 6-meter height storefronts with great VMs, where great interactions really happen. Really, the consumers are pulled into the store because of the way some of the brands really do a good job, and my colleagues sitting here really do a good job with the way they dress it up actually, and they dress it up according to occasions. So, mannequins also have actually developed now. There are a lot of amazing mannequins you can see, and some of them also come out, and we actually encourage many of them to come out and so showcase that some marquee products which becomes trending actually.
Thank you. There is one question that I said I'll call you for, this whole phygital, right? Because many of the stores inside are not just selling from in the store, they are also becoming the dispatch center for the e-commerce websites that they are enabling. What's the feeling about that?
See, the reality is reality. You like it or not, the reality is there. And we always have our talk with our retailer. But nevertheless, I told you, a good mall will never be worried, because we are solving many problems for a retailer today by marketing ourselves, giving the experience to the customer, curating the experience to the customer with respect to the events, whether it is any type of events. Today, there was an article which came in, I think 3 months back, saying that the local melas are what the malls are supposed to become. And actually, if it is a Kumbh Mela which is happening in UP, and you need to obviously take the whole environment and do some lot of actuations around it to be, as per the whatever is the flavor of the season. So we do all of that, and then you believe that your consumers will still come in. Now the brand also needs to do parity with what they are selling. If they have their merchandise which is priced evenly, they have their the best sizes and the best fashion available in your store, then there is no problem. When that becomes inadequate, or when that becomes lopsided, that is where the problem is. But I think many brands today sitting on this dais, or all the responsible brands are not doing it. It's okay, to have customers, because there is also an opportunity. Consumers are coming into your mall to pick it up or give it to them. And I'm telling you, consumers are today demanding it, that you need to, have a platform where everything should be integrated, where they can pick it up or give it back in the store. So that's okay for us. End of the day, he or she is a consumer. For that, it might not be the consumer. She might consume our fashion, or she might consume my entertainment. She might consume my F&B, and that's okay for us.
Fair enough. I think Sumit wants to say something.
So I go back to your first question, what has changed post-COVID and pre-COVID? I think phygital has become acceptable at the mall level. I remember conversations with malls, and Shibu is one of them. Pre-COVID, and we were one of the first few retailers in this country, or brands in this country, who started omni-channel or servicing from the stores. And when we used to have this conversation with our mall partners that boss online का revenue share अलग होगा, नहीं ये कैसे होगा, मुझे कैसे पता, ये मेरी real estate है, आप मेरी real estate कैसे use कर सकते हो online service करने के लिए. But I think post COVID they realized that this is reality and we will have to accept it, we like it or not. And also that once they started experiencing, I think they also realized that at the end of the day they are not doing it for the brand or the mall. All this is happening for the consumer, which was not earlier. They were not thinking in that process.
Fair. Actually, yesterday I heard something new, and I'm here because I'm going to get the audience to ask questions before I get my next question up. Yeah.
Just adding to what Sumit just mentioned. So the phygital is this one thing which is also bringing in the consumers in the store. And end of the day, it's a business of retail, and which is driven by the consumers. And as we say, the customer is God and everything. So if the customer is moving in and they know that in the physical store, they have an option to see all across that whatever is available for them, it's something which is a need of the hour also. It's or otherwise they can do online. Why do they come to the physical store? But now today they know that in the physical store they get that experience as well as the same availability and options which they can see it at home also, but they are right now physically at a store where somebody can guide them and customize in them in terms of services also. So physical is something which should not be looked at from a perspective of just somebody coming and ordering online and kind of a thing. It's more of an add-on, an experience with services being given at the same time on the online platform. That's a way to look at the physical in today's scenario.
Kumar,
Yes.
just to add to what Sumit was mentioning, even the malls are becoming more agile now. So I'll mention 3 malls which I am working with right now. In Orbit, Nexus and now Shibu also. These 3 malls are going to have an app which would be integrated with your physical stores. So you are sitting at home, you go to the website, say in Orbit or Nexus or even Lulu. You go to a particular store, say Bestseller, you pick up an inventory item, you like it, you don't find it in the store, you add it in your cart, you pay in 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on where you are and you know how much faster you want, you would get it delivered from that mall store inside your house. Now this is a beautiful way, you know, malls and you know, digital can integrate together and make sure that your stores continue to drive revenue. And this ever-changing question of you know, online versus offline would possibly come to an end when both of them come together.
Nice. In fact, yesterday, the thing that I heard from one of the mall operators was, if there are customers asking things online and if they are able to get it, that means that there is product moving out of the store. If the product moves, you can get new products. That means the store is getting fresh every day. So I think the way to look at it is customer ko fresh kuch dikh raha hai ki nahi dikh raha hai. And that's what happens. As dukandars and as mall operators, you want things to move. And rotation is important. Now I'm coming here because there are questions being asked. It has to be a question, not a statement, huh? To everybody.
So, I'm Nikunj. I wanted to ask a simple question. Post-COVID, since the rise of OTT, consumers have become extremely picky on movies. Take one Chhawar exception cases out, and you see most movies doing 9, 10, 15% kind of occupancy. So, isn't it now, and on the other side, you have Coldplay like concerts doing phenomenally well. So is it now time for malls to completely rethink the space allocation to multiplexes and actually reallocate that space to experiential entertainment, experiential food, and even experiential retail of other products?
I take it you're asking Shibu about this. He is the mall operator. He is the only mall operator.
Yes, so obviously that's happening, and my multiplex partners are already telling us the same. But the fact remains is that South is still, having a healthy 32 to 35% occupancy. But nevertheless, obviously, I'm sure that our friends also in the industry also are aligning to the fact that 80,000 square feet of or 1 lakh square feet of multiplex space will never happen anymore. It might be restricted to 30,000, and in a north it might be 25,000, or maximum in the south it might be 50,000. So it might happen, and obviously, like you rightly said, that more and more spaces are getting to experiential retailing, and that's the game going to be.
I think occupancy levels post-COVID, pre-COVID, the main moot point is content. If the content is right and the content is being coming, then I don't think there is an issue with having a multiplex or a 5-screen multiplex or a 10-screen multiplex. But, and like Shibu said, that South still continues to operate at 35, 37% of occupancy. So, at the end of the day, it's the content. If you give the right product, the consumer will consume it.
And Sumit, why not improvise? You know, these cinemas are great places where you can play a cricket match. You can celebrate your wedding videos there. Why not utilize them beyond movies? There are movies which are coming after 20 years. Why not have them screened again? Why not have those old movies for private screening? So we have to sweat your asset more. One of the points that was being mentioned. Then how do you sweat your asset? Do more with the current screens that you have, and do blended with the food courts so that your food court get some kind of advantage. Do it on seat ordering. Your food courts would have curated menus for those occasions, and that is how the cinemas and the mall operators can come together and get more revenue out of the same place.
Since the cinema guys are not available here, I think I'll hold this for now, because those are the guys who are doing some things about it, but they should be able to come and tell. But good inputs. When we talk to the cinema guys, we will kind of take this up. but experience is important. Like, how many of you played pickleball here yesterday, today? Anybody here at all who played pickleball? 1, 2, 3. Don't feel shy. We're not going to charge you. Okay. So, I mean, it's all about experience, right? End of the day, yeah, you're coming in for a conference, but you also want to get engaged in something else. So, whatever Shibu said is what we are trying to do here. So, I can understand what Shibu goes through. We've got one more person asking question.
Hi. So my question again is regards to the phygital and the digital debate. Do you think is it the category that decides, how whether it to go more online or do physical? Because, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question was more: is it the category that decides, how the product needs to be sold, more physical or more digital? Because in food space, we see that now 45 to 50% contribution is coming from aggregators, Swiggy, Zomatos of the world. Whereas in the value retail space, which is growing very fast, and we are seeing more and more people opening more number of stores. So how do you decide, which way to go, what call to take? How is the decision made?
So I think, unfortunately, we cannot, as brands or retailers or mall developers, we can't decide what percentage will be online versus offline. It is, as somebody said, the consumer or the customer is king, but I would say customer is queen. So they decide. I mean, what is their preference? What is their mood at that point in time when they want to shop, whether they want to eat or they want to consume entertainment? I mean, if they are in a leisure mood and they don't want to step out of their house, they will probably order online or watch an OTT media. If they are if they want to, kind of have an experience, and then at the end of the day, they go to and interact socially. They go out to a mall, eat, shop, drink, entertain. So, I mean, there's no set percentage as such, but yeah, I mean, from a fashion perspective, I think about 18-20% online versus offline is in most mature markets is what we see happening.
Thank you. I mean, I stopped you because there's only enough time, so everybody should get a chance. But I'm happy that the audience is asking questions, and it's not just me. So thank you for doing my job.
Yeah, hi everyone. I just need to check, like in past we have seen that people are saying that the whole business are moving towards premium. There's a bit of premiumization is happening. How do you see in your specific category, is that happening or is just like a short-term phenomena?
So I'll take up two categories very quickly. We've got 5 minutes. One, on the restaurant front, kiosks are currently having little hard time, but I'm sure they'll come out of it. People are moving towards experiential dining, and hence you have a brand called PF Chang's or even Airtel Bharti getting into premium dining, which clearly shows a tectonic shift among people where they don't want to go to a restaurant 10 times a year, but they rather want to have the same money being spent 3 times, 4 times, and have experiential dining where the butler service would be there. The kind of restaurant, the kind of cuisine that are coming in, the Burmese, the Vietnamese, the Thai, the Chinese, the American, Lebanese, we are Korean, we are spoiled for choice, and we are also looking at experience at every time. We don't hardly get to talk to our family because of busy work lives. In shopping, I don't think we tend to talk a lot among each other, but it is one place which is called dining where you sit, talk to each other, look into their eyes, have candid conversation over great food. So why not premium? On the apparel, I think even at the heart of Raymond, we have been kind of getting into the premiumization at a lot of our products where we believe that there is a consumer who is willing to spend little more to get a certain kind of attire made for him. He wants to look special. Even somebody in his 50s doesn't want to look like 50s, he wants to look like 30s. So he would do everything to dress up to make sure, his kids like him in a certain manner when he goes to even a small thing like a parent-teacher meeting, the PTMs. He would want to look young. So premiumization is happening even at that level in terms of the apparel that people are consuming.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Simran, you had something to say?
Yeah, in fact, I wanted to answer the earlier question that whether online or offline. So basically, it's also, there's another perspective as demand. So if it is based on demand on the particular market, it's about deeper penetration as well. So that also decides for the retailer in a certain way that, okay, whether you need to go deeper on that market, do more online and offline.
So yeah.
So, adding to what Akash was saying regarding premiumization, I think um, each brand has its life cycle, right? And each consumer, every consumer has aspirations. So, if you don't fulfill that consumer's aspiration, what you were wearing maybe 20 years back and what you're wearing today, there's a stark difference. You have premiumized your wardrobe, or in fact, your household items, your cars, you have premiumized. So ultimately, if a brand, if a consumer is sticking to you as a customer, and if you don't uh, live up to that life cycle, he'll move out to another brand. So at the end of the day, it is a great thought that why don't you premiumize yourself and add on to that consumer.
One last question and then we are done. So
My question is, when you're looking at the tier 2, tier 3 India, you see that the purchasing power is growing, but still the experience that is available in tier 1 and the metro India is not available over there. So how are brands like planning to work on it so that we at least, democratize the availability of such services across these, locations?
So at Raymond, we've got about 1,500 stores, and we are in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Believe you me, we have the same experience all through. You go to a tier 3 store, you are in for a wedding, you'd be getting treatment the same way you'd get it at a Mall of India or any of the Lulu malls or any other mall. So we don't differentiate, in fact, the tier 3 consumer is more discerning. He is looking for more. He doesn't really have a lot of choices. There are not 100 brands which have penetrated in that city. So whatever you do, he would define the way you come and shop to him. Not only that, when the people would grow up in life, they would move beyond tier 3 to tier 1s. They would come and see your store and would continue to be your loyal consumers.
So, 5 of our malls are located in tier 3 actually, and my infrastructure is one of the best in that city, in that places. I don't discriminate, and with respect to brands also, and my marketing events are more culturally driven to that side. And today my Kottayam mall or my mall in Palakkad gets the same type of Gen Z consumers. They're informed, and today democratization has happened because of because of this online. Everyone knows the best out of every brand. So I think we are as a developers we are ensuring that the best is available at every place because of the reach. I think every big brand is serving all the pin codes in the country, and consumers are knowing everything today. Gone are those days. They're aware, like the metro guy. They're aware of Coldplay happening, and they book the tickets first before the metro guy is booking.
okay, so
Just to add on to this, and Max also, we are almost 200 plus towns in the country, and the core products are all across the same. Whether you buy it in a Mumbai or a Delhi and everything, the product range is all same. And even if it's something is not available, that was I was mentioning the phygital world, that is available for the tier 3 town. Only the difference can be the delivery time or the time of the logistics can be a bit higher. But the core products are all across the same. Only seasonality can vary from a region to region. That's the only difference which comes in. But you will find the same product range.
you obviously asked a question everybody's got answers for. You should be able to talk to them outside to get lots more insights. But thank you everybody. Thank you for the audience. I think we've had a very nice interactive audience. And thank you all of you. There are some questions we thought we should ask, but we didn't have enough time for it. But it's been wonderful. I hope we all walk out of here with some new thoughts, new strategies in our minds. Experience is important. Premiumization, it's definitely happening in brands. Lots more attention to be paid for kids and various other things that we'll need to do to take care of the online as well as offline lead of customers. And of course, there is also this whole concept around telling that I do not worry if it's online or offline, as long as they are consumers, we are able to take care of them. Experiences is the king, and what customer wants is what all these guys here are here to take care of. So thank you so much.